Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a couple super simple dinner ideas, as well as 3 yummy summer side dishes. I will also be sharing with you what I prepped for breakfast this week and a delicious dessert recipe. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to start out by prepping some chicken. I'm just going to use this marinade in a packet. We've been loving these McCormick Grill Mate packets. We finally got to try the Mesquite kind and it is really, really good. I highly recommend. So I am just following the directions on the back of the package, and instead of putting the marinade in the bag, I'm actually going to put it in a glass dish so that I can reserve some of it to baste the chicken later. So I'm just going to dump pretty much all of it into this bag. I'm just going to leave maybe like 2 tablespoons out so that I can baste it later. And then I'm just going to throw this in the fridge for it to marinate all day. So with this chicken, I'm actually going to be making Alfredo. So I've made this a ton on my channel. I will leave the video that I originally shared the recipe link down below for you if you are interested. But it is super simple. It is so delicious and it is so much better than the jarred Alfredo. So if you have a chance, I definitely recommend trying it. Like I said, I'll leave the video link down below for you. So now we're going to go ahead and get started on the chicken. So I decided to cook this in the air fryer, and this has been our favorite way to cook chicken. So I'm just going to put this single layer in the air fryer. I'm going to cook it for 10 minutes on 380, and then I will flip it, we'll baste it, and then put it back in there. We're going to turn up the temperature to 400 and cook it for another 10 minutes. Now, when you cook it for the second 10 minutes, you do want to watch it very closely. So I did check it about halfway through, and I basted it halfway through, and it didn't go the full 10 minutes. It went about 8 minutes. So you do want to watch it depending on the size of your chicken. So I had 2 chicken breasts that were a little bit smaller and one that was a little bit bigger. So I did have to leave that one in there for the full 10 minutes. But anyway, you really just want to watch your chicken so it doesn't dry out. If you've never cooked your chicken in the air fryer, I highly recommend. It's our favorite way that we have made chicken. It's the juiciest and it makes everything on the outside so crispy, and it's just so good. You should definitely try it. So now I'm just assembling everything. I've got my noodles here that I boiled, and I'm just going to put the Alfredo on top of the noodles. This is just the simplest way to do it. And then we're going to serve it with some broccoli that I cooked in the air fryer as well. I cooked the broccoli for 10 minutes on 300, and it came out so delicious, so crispy, and my kids loved it. They almost ate it all before we could even fix our plates. So here's what the chicken looks like when it came out. Doesn't that look amazing? And then the Alfredo, it doesn't look really appetizing, but I promise it's delicious. And this crispy broccoli. And then here's what my plate looked like when it was all plated up. This was definitely our favorite meal of the night. Alfredo is always my favorite. So another super simple recipe is lazy lasagna. So I'm just sprouting up some hamburger, seasoning it with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and I also got this seasoning blend from Ross. It's just a garlic and herb seasoning blend, and it is really, really good. I can't link it down below for you because I have no idea what the brand even is, but it's delicious. If you ever see any like seasonings at Ross or Marshall's, you should definitely pick them up. But I just put the sauce in. I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit, and then I'm getting started on the cheese mixture. So I've got just a thing of ricotta cheese. You can use cottage cheese if you prefer that. And I'm just going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper and about a cup of Parmesan cheese and some parsley. So this recipe is basically just the same thing as lasagna, except you're cooking everything ahead of time, and it takes like half the time that a regular lasagna does. It's so much easier, and in my opinion, it tastes the same. So you're basically just cooking the noodles before you put them in the oven. Okay, so now I'm going to get started assembling everything. I'm just putting half of the meat mixture in the bottom, and I'm going to mix the noodles in with it. We're going to top it with some cheese, and then that ricotta cheese mixture, just spread it out the best that you can, and then you're going to do the same thing to the other half. I made too much noodles, so I had some left over, but I'm just going to top this with some more cheese, throw some foil on it, and just heat it through in the oven. Make sure the cheese is melted. And here's what it looks like. We serve this with some garlic bread and some green beans. So this next night, this is actually Memorial Day. So I'm making a super easy barbecue ranch pasta salad. This is definitely one of our favorite pasta salads. You can basically just put any veggies that you like in it, throw some bacon bits in there, put some barbecue and some ranch. I prefer to make my own ranch with this. I think it tastes the best and it is delicious. I will leave what I use down below. I'm also making some deviled eggs. So I did boil some eggs. Everyone has their own way of boiling them, but peeling them is what is hard for me. So I just decided to try this little trick here, leave them in the water as you're peeling, and this worked amazing. I had never tried it like this before, and it just kind of popped up in my head, and I was like, I think I'm gonna try that. And it definitely worked. So now I'm just assembling the deviled eggs. Have my little helpers here. The way that I like to season mine is with mayonnaise, mustard, dill relish, sweet relish, salt, pepper, and then I will taste it. If it needs some more sweetness, I will add just a little bit of Miracle Whip, but that's all we do around here. I was just always taught this by my family, and that's how we like to do it, and we'll top it with some paprika. So the trick for filling the deviled eggs, this is nothing revolutionary, but I just like to use a Ziploc bag and I'll just pipe the filling into the eggs. It's so much easier than trying to spoon it in there and a lot less messy too. So that's just what we like to do around here. Next, we're getting started on our ranch potatoes in the crock pot. I wanted something that was super easy that I could just kind of let cook and not have to babysit. So I'm just chopping up a few yellow potatoes. We're going to season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some parsley. I'll leave the recipe that I will leave the recipe that I used linked down below for you. This was good, but it had kind of a weird taste to it. I think I would leave out all the seasonings next time and just use the ranch packet and see how I liked it there. But it was good. Everybody loved it, and the leftovers were good as well. It was good to heat up, so I would recommend trying it, maybe just leaving out the seasonings. So I'm just gonna stir these and make sure that everything's coated, and then we're just gonna cook these on low in the crock pot for anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, depending on how your crock pot cooks. Okay, you guys said that you like to see my breakfast prep, so we are gonna cook up some sausage and some eggs. So this is usually pretty standard around here. My husband has been loving this, so I'm just gonna cook some sausage real quick. Okay, so now I'm gonna crack a few eggs and we're gonna season with salt and pepper, add some milk. It makes the eggs fluffy and it keeps them juicy. It keeps them moist. I know you guys don't like that word, but that's what it is. It keeps them moist throughout the week, so whenever you reheat it, they don't dry out. Just gonna add those into the sausage and cook them through, and then transfer them over to these meal prep containers that I got at Walmart. They have them everywhere. They're pretty popular nowadays. I'm pretty sure you can find them pretty much anywhere. So I'm just dividing these into the 3 containers for my husband, and then move on to the next thing. So for my breakfast this week, I decided to do like an egg hash brown scramble. So I'm just getting started on the hash browns. I'm just gonna cook these in a skillet with salt, pepper, and I think some maybe garlic and herb seasoning. Yep, that garlic and herb seasoning, you guys, is amazing. So I'm just gonna add that to there. I've been having some trouble cooking the hash browns. I don't know what the heck I'm doing wrong, but they keep coming out mushy, and maybe it's because I'm stirring them too much. I don't know, but I want them crispy and they're not coming out crispy. So anyway, if you have any tips, please let me know down below. For my husband, he actually wanted a corned beef hash this week. I hate the smell of corned beef hash. I think it's awful. It looks disgusting, but he loves it, so I'm gonna cook it for him. Just gonna season with salt, pepper, and that garlic and onion seasoning again, and we'll just let it cook. It's already cooked through, but you just wanna kind of let it get crispy. So that's what I'm doing for him. Okay, so now that the hash browns are done, I'm just gonna divide those up into 4 containers. I just got these containers at the Dollar Tree. They're just the Betty Crocker ones, and you can pretty much get these anywhere as well. And then I'm going to cook up some onions and peppers to have with my scramble too. Okay, so while the corned beef hash is finishing up, you can see that it's almost done there. I'm just gonna add some cheese to my husband's eggs. He loves cheese on his eggs, and I like to get the sharp cheddar. I just think it tastes better with eggs. And he also likes some jalapenos, so I'm just gonna throw a few jalapeno slices on there so that he can have those with his eggs. I'm gonna give this corned beef hash just one more stir, and then we're just gonna divide it up into these 3 containers, and his breakfast is good to go. Okay, so I am done with breakfast prep. I just decided to do some eggs with sausage for my husband with some cheese and jalapenos. Also fried up some corned beef hash for him. So I just did 3 days because it is Memorial Day weekend and he only works 3 days this week. And then here's mine. I didn't make the eggs because I will make those the day of, but I just did some hash browns with peppers and onions. And then the day of, I will scramble up a couple eggs and just throw those in. So yeah, if you're needing an idea for breakfast, here are a couple ideas. This only took me about 30 minutes. Okay, so finally to the dessert. So if you watched my last grocery haul, you saw that I did not get regular Oreos for the Strawberry Lush. And I will say that it was delicious. I don't think that you need to get the golden Oreos. I think that the vanilla Great Value cookies are just fine. I have made this dessert once before, but this was requested for our Memorial Day get-together, so I did decide to make it. Also, I cut up some strawberries and just put them on the side because not everyone likes strawberries, so I decided to just put them on the side this time. And honestly, it was delicious. I didn't even eat mine with strawberries. Everyone else took all the strawberries, and it was really, really good. So I'll leave the recipe that I use linked down below for you, but it is definitely one of our favorites when we have get-togethers. Everybody loves it. So that's going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.